Good evening, everybody. I'm Stephen Harmon, and this is my warehouse 3D warehouse project for LSCM 4000. Before we get started, I figured I'd give you a brief overview of the business. It is a real business located in Dalton, Georgia, with a manufacturing facility also in Chatsworth, Georgia. It's a textile manufacturing company, and it is in my family, so to speak. It's in my wife's family. And I wanted to make sure I cover here. It's multimodal facets to this business. So, just an overview, real quick. Raw goods are ordered, and they are received via train at the Appalachian Regional Port in Crandall, Georgia, which is not that far from Chatsworth. My father-in-law's company has box trucks, which will go up there, transport the raw materials to the Chatsworth textile manufacturing facility, as you see here. And the raw goods will get transported into these types of containers here, which, again, are not to scale. And the raw materials will get turned through different processes like extrusion into different forms of textiles. And then once they're done, the orders are, everything is made to order. So once things are made, they get turned into what they call wraps, and they're put into the box truck, which would then, travel chug, all the way up to Old Dalton. And you can see the little shipping and receiving sign here. So the truck would come around and come over here. And again, apologize, everything's not exactly to scale. But as you can see here, the exterior walls of the actual warehouse are brick, and there are some windows. This warehouse has taken some liberties just because I couldn't get everything exactly the way the real warehouse is. In the real warehouse, there are not that many windows except for the office side of the building. All right, removing the roof. You'll see I put some lights in here, and there's also some air conditioning, HVAC, and some returns there. Okay, so on this side where the big 18-wheeler is where product would be departing from, outbound shipping, and this side here is where the receiving would be. So inside of the warehouse, there is a warehouse manager who also serves as quality control officer. And he is there to make sure all the orders that would come from the Chatsworth facility match what the client wanted on the tender, and that it goes in and out as quickly as possible. As I stated in my paper, there are not many of these wraps that get stored at a time. The warehouse essentially has there's not much really in it except storage area for wraps. In the warehouse, I couldn't do it fully to scale here, but took some liberties here. But in reality, he does have something similar to this. It doesn't exactly say pallet storage area, but it is clearly marked to delineate where the pallets would go. And, excuse me. All right. So inside the warehouse, like I said, the exterior is brick. The interior is brick as well. These bay doors on both sides slide up and slide down. You can't really see it on this, but in the real world, these lights, these little clear sections right here, are lit up and they flash red during the daytime. Okay. And this forklift, Heister brand forklift, would sit right here. And I've put some signage here that basically says authorized drivers only, as well as some basic warning, caution symbols that he would find in the warehouse that say, don't get underneath the lift when it's up, don't stand on it, injuries can happen. All right. And this area is supposed to be like the quality control officer's area. And there's no aisles per se, but there is one clear marked area throughout the warehouse with spots for the forklift to be able to go to any bay door it needs to go to. It's just an efficient means of transportation for the forklift, and it keeps everybody safe. inside the warehouse, whenever the forklift is not, near the pallet area, these little cones are usually on one on each side to mark that nobody's over there. I also put in here an MSDS safety sheet. I put in here some basic signage that talks about, or shows that proper protective equipment must be worn. And inside this warehouse, that proper protective equipment on any day in the warehouse floor is made up of eye protection, a hard hat, and closed-toed, steel-toed shoes, just as a preventative measure to prevent anything from falling or hurting you. Again, these wraps each weigh 500 pounds. So at any given time, a forklift could be carrying 2 wraps, so 1,000 pounds. That you definitely don't want that falling on you. Let's see what else here. I've got a no unauthorized personnel in the facility sign, as well as on this side over here, like I said, outbound, there are some wraps being shipped to a client. This area right here, as you can see, is like the bay safety area, where once you get up to this area, the forklift would drop the pallet safely, and then a manual forklift would do the rest of the work getting it into whatever truck is necessary. Now keep in mind that a lot of the goods that are shipped, it's obviously not going to be an 18-wheeler if there's no more than 10 wraps stored in the warehouse at any given time, which is, there's no more than that. That's what I've been told in my interviews with my father-in-law. So an 18-wheeler is not exactly accurate. It'd be more like this box truck. But the clients can be anywhere. A lot of them are in the Dalton area with the textile industry, but several of them are located and dispersed throughout the U.S. This warehouse has been fun and challenging to build. I've gone through multiple iterations, from a foam board box to a cardboard box, ultimately to this 3D warehouse model, which is awesome and is a lot more accurate than I could have been with a cardboard box. I appreciate your time and attention during this presentation, and look forward to any feedback. Thank you.